Hi, I'm Christos Ioannou. I still don't have a tripod, and let's get right into this week's news. So first and foremost, another candidate dropped out of the race. It wasn't quite the white male exodus that we saw last week, however, it was still substantial. The candidate who dropped out, you guessed it, Frank Stallone. In all seriousness, it was Senator Kirsten Gillibrand from the state of New York. And like I said last week with Representative Seth Moulton, in any other year, she's a senator from one of the biggest states. She's a woman. She's amazing. She should have done great. She didn't do great. She did very poorly, in fact. However, nothing matters anymore. So she's dropping out of the race. A lot of people were sad to see her go, except for one Stuart Smalley who decided to remind her that, doggone it, people like you. Now, next in the news, we have the debates coming up on, I believe, September the 12th. They're going to be 3 hours long and have 10 candidates who are, let's see if I can get this, Joe Biden, Elizabeth Warren, Bernie Sanders, Kamala Harris, Mayor Pete, Beto O'Rourke, Andrew Yang, Amy Klobuchar, Julian Castro, and I can't get this last one. I'm just going to throw a picture up there, maybe a name. Future Christos, sorry for the editing. Anyways, I digress. It's going to be September the 12th, 3 hours long. It's going to be great. It's going to be fantastic. It's, I forget who's hosting it. I know George Stephanopoulos, my fellow Greek, is going to be one of the moderators. So make sure to tune into that. The polling threshold date ended this week, August 28th. So Tom Steyer, Tulsi Gabbard were close, but no cigar. And they announced the next debates are going to be October 15th, maybe 16th if they have more than 10 candidates. Here in Ohio, which I am very happy about. David Pepper gave me tickets. Otherwise, not too much is going on. But like I said, Tulsi Gabbard is very mad that she didn't make it because, like I said last week, the DNC is dumb. They're counting some polls. They're not counting most other polls. And she most likely would have made it. Same with Tom Steyer, a billionaire who is essentially self-funding his campaign, putting out tens of millions of dollars for online ads to go ahead and get, donors just dollar by dollar. And he was down one poll because they kept putting out national polls. He relies on state polls because he's investing heavily in the 4 early voting states, Iowa, New Hampshire, Nevada, and South Carolina. It's the only time people care about Iowa. It makes them feel really special, so go ahead, send them some love. They need it. But, Tom Steyer's got enough money. He'll be fine. If you want to, Tom, send me money. I'd appreciate it. You've got so much of it. But otherwise, the debate lineup for September 12th is set, and for October 15th, they're going to have until October the 1st to go ahead and collect more polls. So it looks like Tom Steyer will most likely make it if they release another state poll. Tulsi Gabbard might make it. That's really it. Everyone else, the goose is cooked there. However, several other candidates who, unlike Kirsten Gillibrand, know when to quit, are saying they're going to go ahead and stick to running for whatever reason. Candidates like Tim Ryan said he's going to stay in this. John Delaney say he's going to stay in this, as well as Governor Steve Bullock from Montana. Go ahead and figure out which one's which. I'll tell you, this is Steve Bullock. No, it's not. That's Tim Ryan. This is Steve Bullock. That's John Delaney. This is really Steve Bullock. They all kind of look the same. But anyways, they've said they're going to go ahead, ride it out, and everyone else is like, why? Except for about 3 people. Those 3 specifically. So, they're going to be sticking in this a little bit longer. But last and not least, we do have some real news this week. There's a hurricane going to hit Florida, Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, maybe Georgia. I don't know. It's going to be bad. It's like 200 miles per hour wind. It's so Trump, of course, said he's not going to go to Poland. He instead went golfing because, that's so much better. There was another mass shooting in Texas. Believe it or not, another mass shooting in Texas. I'm pretty sure the news sites at this point are just hitting copy and paste with the news headlines. I believe about 7 dead, at least 20 injured. It's, not good. But Beto O'Rourke said the F word live on CNN, and I clutched my pearls, and I said, that's the real bad thing about this, As long as my candidates don't swear, I'm fine with people dying. Also, Bret Stephens, he's a columnist for the New York Times. He went ahead and somebody called him a bedbug on Twitter. So he did a rational thing, deleted his Twitter, and wrote a column about how he was being persecuted just as bad as the Jews during the Holocaust. So, nice one, Bret. Real good call. Otherwise, there's not too much going on. Pretty light week. So I'll see you guys next week unless I'm too lazy and do another bi-weekly one. So I'll see you guys around. Thanks for tuning in.
In economic news, unemployment figures rose slightly for the month of October, with declines in the Dow Jones and NASDAQ. The reason for the sudden downturn? You guessed it, Frank Stallone.